Right, what's going on guys? I'm going to try and run you through some of the dives of this day. We're down in Fujairah and it's predominantly reef hunting for this first part of the video. So you can see I'm landing down on the reef here and I see a crack in the rock. Rather than getting too close and trying to explore it and spooking whatever's inside, I decide to land on the rock next to it and scratch the rock in front of me just to create the tiniest bit of sound to see what pokes his head out. Bang! So you can see below the fish is sand. I wouldn't have taken this shot if there was rock underneath it. So this is a 2-bar bream or something like that, I'm not entirely sure, but these are quite good eating apparently. So I decided to take a couple of these for the table. Okay, so my next dive, I'm dropping just to the side of the reef. Okay, so this is the sand, there's still rocks around, but you can see the ledge there in front of me. And as I'm free falling down, I'm trying to position myself on the edge of that reef. There's a little moray eel that catches my attention, but then I'm looking on top of the ledge just to see if there's any pelagics or any snapper or anything just swimming up and over. Something else catches my eye. There's an antenna attached to a lobster, or a spiny crayfish as they call them. And with these lobsters and crayfish, you've got one chance, one opportunity. You need to grab them quick before they bolt, before they go into fight or flight mode. So because I fluffed this up, I didn't do a good job. I decided to put the drop weight down and come back for it. A few dives later, I still didn't see it. The cave went so far back underneath that I couldn't even see its antennas. Another thing I did find as well, when I'm looking on the sand, is a little flatfish. I think this is a sole or a top knot, similar to stuff we have in the UK. I just pressed it on the sand and yeah, it was a cool find. I let it go. Okay, so another dive. I dropped down on top of this reef and I wanted to just peer over the side to see if there was anything hiding underneath. As there was nothing directly beneath it, I decided to go onto the sand and just crawl underneath enough to try and make out if there was any shapes. There's a couple of fish but nothing special, so I dusted up a little bit in front of me to make a sound and to break up my pattern. So that fish came straight in and I took the shot. I'm not going to take the shot if there's reef behind. I'm not going to smash up my spear. Because there was sand underneath, I managed to get a good shot in and I wanted to pull him out straight away so it didn't mess up my spear or shooting line, and also I don't want any sharks ripping up the fish. Okay, so I really like this style of hunting. The water's quite shallow, it's 10 to 15 meters of water, and you can really hide and conceal yourself, and then you can just see what turns up. You can also, whilst you're hiding in these positions, you can ping your bands, you can make that gagging sound with your glottis to call in fish. You can throw sand up in the reef just to try and bring things closer to you whilst you're fully concealed. Also, if there's nothing around the reef and you're poking around in holes, just be aware that there might be stuff inside the holes, inside the caves. As in this situation, there was a big stingray inside. Luckily, he's pretty chilled, and yeah, I can leave him to it. But if you do rest on something like that, you know, they've got a big spike on their tail, so they'll use it like a scorpion. As you can see, here's another one inside one of the holes. They won't really do you any harm, but you don't want to be lying on it or climbing inside a cave and resting on top of them. They probably won't like it. So look, I can explore these caves and holes all day long. Sometimes you lose track of time when you're under there, just watching the fish. I'd already shot a few of these breams, so I didn't need any more of these species. But it's really cool just to see what's going on under there, and if you can understand more of what's happening down there, then you can start to hunt more efficiently. Okay, so the next part of the dive, we head out to sea, to deep water. So it's about 100 meters of water, very deep. And on the upper parts of the chain, you can see triggerfish. But as tasty as triggerfish are, they're not on the menu today. One of my friends back home loves eating them, recommends them, but I've got my eye on these trevally. So I don't know what they're called, but they are similar to the big-eyed trevally, but they've got small eyes. So I'm going to call them small-eyed trevally. We did shoot a couple of these on the last dive, and the restaurant cooked them up brilliantly, so I decided to focus on these for a few dives. I'm dropping down the anchor chain, and I go down to about 20 meters, do my turn, and I'm just slowly trying to sink feet down, and I'm trying to tuck in behind this anchor chain as much as I can, trying to get these fish to come close enough so I can just get a shot in. It's a long shot on quite a small fish, but this is a 140 gun, so I managed to put the 8mm spear through it and swim it back up to the surface. Right, as I'm swimming this fish up, you'll see on the top of the anchor chain, my other fish are strung. I'm not going to string these fish to my belt and send a big blood trail out. There's some big sharks in Fujairah. They've had makos and bull sharks, big bull sharks. So I'll always string my fish somewhere else, or I'll put them on the boat. The guys had already gone out to deeper water looking for tuna, so I was fully on my own. On this dive, this is my last dive for these trevally. You can see the bigger fish in the shoal. I decided to take the shot on that one, and I let out the reel line so I can get back up to the surface. This dive was a little bit deeper. So as I paid the line out, it's gone and wrapped itself around the anchor chain, and there's a net attached to the anchor chain there. So the best thing to do in this situation is just to pay out line, swim up to the surface, do your breathe up, lock the reel on the surface, let it bob around, and then swim down and cut your fish out. Once your fish is clear, string that on the surface and then go back down for your spear. So that's what I do on that situation. Right guys, if you've made it this far, I hope you enjoyed the video. I just wanted to give you an insight into some of the spearfishing I've been doing out in these waters and the variety that the UAE has to offer. Thanks for watching, catch you soon.